Think about my thumb. My thumb is a perfectly good thumb, by the way. It's running at what voltage? Minus 25 millivolts. Now I hit it with a hammer and I destroy some cells in my thumb. What's going to happen is that the thumb's immediately going to go to minus 50 millivolts. And minus 50 millivolts causes the arterioles to dilate. And the reason that happens, of course, is we need the raw materials dumped at the curb there, so to speak, so that we can rebuild the cells we destroyed with a hammer. Well, when those capillaries dilate, we get all the signs we normally call inflammation. We have redness, we have swelling, we have heat, we have a pulsing pain, and it makes you say bad words. So my thumb gets busy and it makes new cells, it replaces those I smashed with a hammer, it goes back to minus 25 millivolts, and I'm a happy camper. But on the other hand, if when I smash my thumb, if the power supply going to the thumb is inadequate to provide the minus 50 millivolts I need to make new cells, then my thumb won't heal, and I'm stuck in chronic disease. You see that? So I can take all the pills I want, I can do all the surgery I want on the thumb, but it'll never get well until I do what? Insert enough electrons to get me up to minus 50 millivolts. And so if you understand what I just told you about the thumb, you understand basically.
There is a lot of misinformation floating around online. Usually it's mixed with a few things that are actually true. But in this case, the voltage part is wrong. First of all, your thumb does not have one specific voltage like minus 25 millivolts. Individual cells have their own membrane potentials, and when cells are seriously damaged, those electrical gradients usually collapse towards zero. They don't usually switch to minus 50 millivolts. Now, injuries can create local field effects. Those fields may help guide immune cells and repair cells toward the wound. So bioelectrical signaling is real. But that doesn't mean you can heal the body by simply adding electrons. In watery biological tissue, electrical current is carried primarily by ions such as sodium, potassium, calcium, and chloride, not by free electrons moving through the body like they do through a metal wire. Electrical stimulation may influence ion movement, cell migration, blood flow, and natural electrical fields around an injury. But that is very different from supplying electrons to mitochondria. Electrons added from the outside will not simply travel into a cell and enter right into mitochondrial complex and start producing ATP. Electrons have to be handled through highly organized metabolic pathways. As nutrients are broken down through glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, fatty acid oxidation, and other processes, electrons are captured by carriers such as NADH and FADH2. Those carriers deliver them to specific entry points in the mitochondrial electron transport chain. From there, electrons move through a controlled sequence of carriers and protein complexes. The energy released from that transfer is used to pump protons across the inner mitochondrial membrane, creating a proton gradient. Then the protons flow back through ATP synthase, and energy is stored in that gradient and is used to make ATP. This organization matters because electrons that leak from the chain can partially reduce oxygen and contribute to reactive oxygen species. Some of these molecules have normal signaling roles, but excessive production can damage proteins, cell membranes, and DNA. So we don't just want to move electrons floating around. We want controlled electron flow through the appropriate pathways. And this is where CO2 plays an important role. CO2 can help improve local blood flow through the Bohr effect. It also helps hemoglobin release oxygen into tissues that are actively using it. CO2 and bicarbonate make up one of the body's main buffering systems. Keeping pH within the appropriate range is important. because mitochondrial enzymes, electron transport chain proteins, and proton gradient are all sensitive to changes in their chemical environment. So healing isn't about adding electrons until the body reaches some magical voltage. It's about maintaining circulation, oxygen unloading, pH buffering, mitochondrial function, and controlled electron flow. Bioelectricity does matter, but electrical current in tissue, cell membrane potentials, and mitochondrial electron transfer are different phenomena. And CO2 helps support the physiological environment in which all electrical and metabolic activity can function properly.